All right, let's talk about how to resize an image without losing quality. We've all been there, right? You try to make a picture bigger, and it just turns into a blurry mess. Well, in the next few minutes, we're going to fix that for good. I'm going to show you exactly how to resize any image and keep it looking sharp and professional. Let's dive in. Seriously? You know that feeling, don't you? You've got the perfect photo. You just need it a little bigger for your website, maybe a presentation, and bam, suddenly it's this awful blocky disaster. It's so frustrating, but trust me, it really doesn't have to be this way. And this really shows the two worlds we're living in. Over here, we've got our goal, that crisp, clear, professional-looking image. And then, over here is the reality for so many of us, that blurry, pixelated version that just screams amateur. So the big question is, how do we get from point A to point B? Well, first, we got to understand what's going on behind the scenes.
Okay, so to really get a handle on this, we've got to go small, like super small. We need to talk about the tiny building blocks of every single digital image, the pixels. Figuring out what happens to these little guys when you resize an image, well, that's the whole secret to stopping that quality loss in its tracks.
You know that blocky mess we keep talking about? It actually has a name. It's called pixelation. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's what happens when you stretch an image so far that you can literally see the individual squares of color, the pixels themselves. And yeah, it is the #1 giveaway of a bad resize job.
So what's actually happening under the hood here? When you tell a program to make an image bigger, you're not magically adding more detail. Nope, you're just telling the software to stretch out the pixels it already has, and then, and this is the important part, to invent new ones to fill in the empty spaces. It's basically just playing a high-stakes guessing game with your picture. Okay, think about it this way. Step 1, the software scans the pixels that are already there. Step 2, it has to make an educated guess. This pixel is blue, and that one is light blue, so the one in the middle should probably be this shade of blue. But, and here's the kicker, it's still just a guess. And it's these little computer guesses stacked one on top of the other that create that blurriness and just kill the sharpness of your original photo.
All right, so now we know the enemy. It's the software's guessing game. But here's the good news. We can actually help it make way better guesses. It really just boils down to following 3, let's call them golden rules, for getting a perfect resized every time.
That's it, just 3. If you can get these right, I promise you, you're going to be way ahead of the curve. So what are they? Rule number 1, and this one is the absolute foundation. Always start with the highest resolution image you have. You just can't create detail that wasn't there to begin with. Rule number 2, maintain the aspect ratio. This is what stops your picture from looking all weird and stretched or squashed. And rule number 3, use software that has smart resampling options. Those are the tools that make much better guesses when they're adding new pixels.
And that third rule about smart resampling? Well, that leads us perfectly into our next topic, choosing the right tool for the job. Because look, knowing the rules is great, but you need the right software to actually put them into action.
Let's break down your options because you've got a few. You've got the Pro Suite, think Adobe Photoshop. That's for when you want absolute granular control. Then there's the free powerhouse, GIMP, which gives you a ton of that pro power, but, without the cost. For quick and easy stuff, you've got the online speedsters like Canva or Photo, perfect for when you just need to get it done fast. But the real game changer? That's the AI wizards. Tools like dzine.ai or Topaz AI. These things are on another level. They don't just guess. They've been trained on millions of images, so they actually recognize patterns and can generate new, realistic details. It's kind of crazy. They can even make an image look sharper than the original.
But listen, even the most amazing tool can't work magic if you're starting with the wrong ingredients. And that brings us to one last super critical choice you have to make, your file format. And this is a really important one to get. Think of a PNG file as a perfect copy. It uses something called lossless compression, which basically means it keeps every single piece of original image data. A JPEG, on the other hand, is lossy. To make the file smaller, it actually throws away some of that data forever. So what's the big takeaway? Simple. If quality is your absolute top priority, you always want to be working with a PNG if you can.
Okay, let's bring this all together. We've talked about the why this happens, the how to fix it, and the what to use. So now here's a final checklist that's going to turn you into a resizing pro.
All right, let's run through the master plan one last time. First, always start with the highest resolution original you have. Second, don't hesitate to use specialized tools like dzine.ai to get the absolute best results.
Third, choose PNG over JPEG whenever quality is what you care about most. Fourth, never, ever forget to maintain that aspect ratio so you don't get any weird distortion. And finally, for making things bigger, really trust those AI-powered tools to keep things sharp. Stick to this, and you're going to get flawless images every single time.
So there you have it. You are no longer at the mercy of pixelation. You've got the rules, you know about the tools, and you have the pro tips to make every single image look its absolute best. So I guess the only question left is, now that you're a resizing expert, what are you going to create first?